8 seconds. Yes, according to research by Microsoft, the average person's attention span is just 8 seconds. Do you know what that means? While a goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds, you can focus for even less time than that. Now, if you think you're not that unfocused, I want you to try something. While watching this video, how many minutes can you last without checking your phone, switching tabs, or letting your mind wander? I'm serious. I want you to test yourself. Because by the end of this video, you'll also learn why you struggled to stay focused. But the real issue isn't that your attention span is shorter than a goldfish's. The real issue is that nobody was like this just 10 years ago. People were reading books, immersing themselves in a single task for hours, and fully engaging in conversations. Now, looking at where we are, you're even watching a 3-minute video on fast forward. While reading one message, you're thinking about another. You start a task and forget why you began just 5 minutes later. This has nothing to do with age or intelligence. In fact, it's not even a disease. It's a result of a systematic assault on your brain, and today, I'm going to explain who is behind this attack, how it's being carried out, and most importantly, how you can reclaim your attention. I want to start by sharing a secret with you. There is no resource more valuable than you in this world. I'm not talking about your money or your intelligence. I'm talking about your most important resource, your attention, because there's an economy in the 21st century. And the currency of this economy is your attention. This is called the attention economy. In this economy, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Netflix, news sites, and gaming companies are actually fighting for the same thing. They are battling for the time your eyes spend on the screen. So why is this battle happening? Because the longer you look, the more ads you see. The more ads you see, the more money they make. Your attention is essentially their revenue. It's that simple. And these companies are not run by ordinary people. The brightest minds in the world, AI engineers, behavioral psychologists, neuroscientists, wake up each day searching for one answer. They work with the goal of keeping you on the screen for just 10 seconds longer. Tristan Harris, a former design ethicist at Google, once said this about it. Every time you unlock your phone, there are 1,000 engineers thinking the same thing. Their sole purpose is to keep you from disconnecting. 1,000 engineers are against you, and all you have to counter that is your willpower. Now, let's understand what this battle is doing to your brain, because the issue isn't just that I'm spending too much time. Our problem runs much deeper. Every notification sound, every red dot, every new piece of content creates a micro explosion of dopamine in your brain. And as your brain gets used to these bursts of stimulation, it starts constantly seeking new ones. The critical thing here is that your brain's attention capacity is limited. You can think of it like your phone's battery. You start the day at 100%. Every time you check a notification, switch apps, or react to a new stimulus, your battery drains a little more. By evening, your battery drops to 5%. And this happens even though you haven't done anything meaningful throughout the day. Notifications, scrolling, and app switching are draining your battery. In neuroscience, this is called the residue of attention effect. According to research by Sophie Leroy from Minato University, when you switch from one task to another, part of your brain remains occupied with the previous task. So, you might glance at Instagram for 30 seconds and then return, but your brain doesn't fully come back. A part of it stays behind, processing the post you saw and contemplating the comment you read. And this residue has stolen 20-30% of your attention. Imagine doing this 50 times in a day. Each time, a piece of your attention is left behind. By evening, you realize you haven't really concentrated at all. You've spent the whole day with half-hearted attention. Yet you still feel exhausted because your brain is tired, but it hasn't processed anything deeply. So, do you think there's a way to break this vicious cycle? Yes, there are. And these methods aren't the cliches everyone talks about, but no one actually does, like waking up early, taking cold showers, or meditating. These are 4 powerful tools derived from the latest research in behavioral science focused on attention, practical, and effective. 1. Tool environmental design. I'll be honest with you, willpower exists, but winning the attention battle with willpower alone is incredibly tough. That's because willpower is a depletable resource. While those stimuli designed by 1,000 engineers are working around the clock, your willpower can only hold out for a few hours at best each day. So, you'll win the attention battle not with willpower, but with environmental design. Let me illustrate this with an example from World War II. During the war in England, sugar was rationed. People couldn't access sugar, and obesity rates visibly dropped. Once the war ended and sugar became available again, those rates shot back up. Do you think people's willpower changed? Of course not. Their access to the environment changed. They couldn't become dependent on what they couldn't reach. The same principle applies to your attention. First, physically distance your phone when you plan to work. It should be somewhere out of sight, like another room, a bag, or a drawer. But what if something urgent happens? You say, it won't happen. The world won't end in 45 minutes, and even if it did, checking your phone wouldn't change the situation, so relax. Secondly, if you're working on your computer, close all tabs unrelated to your task. But what if I need them later? You can always reopen them when you need them. However, while you're working, you must close everything unnecessary. Open tabs are like little thieves, whispering, "Look at me," in the background of your mind. Thirdly, you need to turn off your notifications, not just while working, but completely. Go into your phone settings and turn off all social media notifications. You don't need any notifications except for message alerts. And after doing this, you'll realize you haven't missed a thing. That feeling of missing out is just an illusion. Life continues just the same with notifications off. You're just less distracted. Second tool, the one task rule. I'm going to tell you a truth that most people won't want to hear. There's no such thing as doing multiple tasks at the same time. But did you say you can do several things at once? No. Scientifically, you can't. Your brain cannot process two cognitive tasks simultaneously. The only thing it can do is switch rapidly between tasks, and you pay a price with every switch. Think of it like changing lanes on a highway. You can travel steadily at 120 km/h in a single lane. But if you keep changing lanes, you slow down and speed up with each change. In the end, you cover the same distance in much longer time and use way more fuel. Your brain does exactly the same thing. You incur a cost every time you switch tasks. This leads to a buildup of attention residue, increasing your margin for error and decreasing your overall productivity. Research by Clifford Ness from Stanford University shows this. People who identify themselves as multitaskers performed worse on tests than those who focused on one task at a time, and not just on that task. They were also worse in attention, filtering, memory, and task switching tests. So multitasking doesn't just disrupt the moment, it erodes your brain's overall attention capacity. The solution is actually ruthlessly simple. One task at a time, one tab at a time, one topic at a time, just one thing for half an hour. When you're done, you move on to the next one. It's a simple yet effective solution. The third tool is the 90-minute principle. Until now, we've always been told to work harder and focus longer, but your brain isn't designed for indefinite focus, and you can't win the battle without understanding how it's designed. In the 1960s, sleep researcher Kleitman made a discovery. He found that the brain goes through 90-minute cycles during sleep. But Kleitman's real breakthrough was realizing that these 90-minute cycles continue during the day. This is called the Ultradian Rhythm. So, your brain experiences about 90 minutes of high focus followed by 15-20 minutes of low energy during the day. This isn't a personal preference, it's a biological fact. And most people don't even notice their 90-minute high focus period because they've already checked their phone in the first 10 minutes or are trying to push through that 90 minutes without a break. Your brain wants a 15-minute rest, but you say, no, I must keep going. And in the next 90 minutes, your productivity drops by 40%. Let me illustrate this with running. Usain Bolt runs 100 meters in 9.58 seconds, but no one tells him, great job, now run a marathon at that same speed. Because sprinting and marathons are two different things. Your brain is also sprinting, 90-minute sprints, and after each sprint, it wants a break. You can practically do this by working for 90 minutes and then taking a 15-20 minute break. But here, a real break is crucial. A break isn't just looking at your phone, because your phone isn't a break for your brain, it's another sprint. You can spend a real break walking, drinking water, looking out the window, or doing some stretching. This way, your brain will be free from external stimuli. If you can do 2 to 3 of these focused 90-minute blocks a day, you'll accomplish more than most people do in a week. The fourth tool is attention muscle training. Now, I'm going to tell you about the method you'll resist the most, but it will be the most effective. Your brain works like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. Your attention muscle has been dormant for years. Every short video, every scroll, every quick transition has chipped away at this muscle a little more. But the good news is we can strengthen this muscle again. By doing 5 minutes of focus training each day, we'll build a strong muscle. I just want you to pick one object, like a pen, a cup, or a spot on the wall, and focus on that object for 5 minutes. Your mind will wander elsewhere. It's a normal situation, and bring it back. It will escape again, and you'll bring it back once more. Every time you bring it back, it's like your attention muscle is doing a rep. You can think of it just like lifting and lowering weights at the gym. Don't get frustrated when your mind wanders, because that moment of distraction is your training opportunity. When your brain says, I'm escaping, and you say no, come back. A rep is completed. Each rep strengthens your attention muscle a little more. Research by Italian neuroscientist Pagnoni shows that people who regularly practice this kind of focus experience measurable physical thickening in their prefrontal cortex. This means your brain is actually starting to get physically stronger. Start with just 5 minutes. The first week might feel really tough. That's perfectly normal. By the second week, you'll be able to last up to a minute. After a month, you'll be able to sit comfortably for 5 minutes, and at that point, you'll notice something changing in your life. Instead of reading 3 pages, you can read 30. When talking to someone, you're really listening. When you sit down to work, you can stay focused not for 10 minutes, but for 45. This small practice is rebuilding your attention muscle, and as that muscle strengthens, you'll see the difference in every area of your life. Now it's time to pause and reflect. 10 years ago, people weren't complaining about attention deficits. 20 years ago, children would play with a single toy for hours. 30 years ago, people would sit on trains, looking out the window, and back then, it was called thinking, not boredom. Attention deficit is not a character flaw. Attention deficit emerged as a result of the greatest attention theft in history. Billion-dollar companies, thousands of engineers, and the world's most advanced algorithms are working around the clock to steal your attention. And while you're not even aware of it, you're slowly losing your focus. But from today on, you're aware of the situation, and awareness is the first step to reclaiming it. Let's quickly recap the 4 weapons we've learned in this video. The first weapon is to trust your willpower and change the system. Move your phone away, turn off notifications, close tabs, and make access difficult. The second weapon is to do one task at a time. Multitasking is wearing down your brain. Stop switching lanes, accelerate in a single lane. The third weapon is to work with your brain's natural rhythm. Focus for 90 minutes, then take a real break for 20 minutes. The fourth weapon is to focus on one object for 5 minutes each day. Strengthen your attention muscle by practicing with each retrieval. Now, while watching this video, how many times did you check your phone? How many times did your mind wander? How many times did you think about speeding up, or maybe even did speed up? If I remember correctly, I challenged you at the beginning of this video. I told you to test yourself. What was the result? If you've made it to the end, I congratulate you. I'm serious about this. Because this alone is proof that your attention muscle is still working, and strengthening that muscle is entirely in your hands. I only ask one thing from you. After you close this video, go into your phone settings and turn off social media notifications. Starting tomorrow, you'll begin to notice the difference. Less distraction, fewer moments of wondering where you were looking, and more silence. That silence is actually the sound of your attention returning. If you did this, you can comment, "I turned off notifications." That way, I'll see it, and you'll inspire others watching this video. Because in this battle, you are never alone. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your life. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.